France and Russia. I think Ukraine should be in there, not France or Netherlands. But that's how they want to play it because I guess they like France. Thoughts on this, Jake? Jake, thoughts? Is that your thought? Like no talking?
I'm sorry, I don't know how that happened. I was just forced to quit out of Firefox, but the call's still going? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
This is incredible. Okay, I
Miracles.
wasn't aware of how the seeding worked in Champions League, but it certainly seems nice to hear that they've fixed it. Wait. So hold on, let me get this straight. Just because you're won your league, now it means that it doesn't necessarily mean you're pot one?
No, now it means you are.
Oh, then of course, it's fantastic news. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I understand that you want to reward a team for being good, but you also want to reward them for winning. Look, France, they should only have one at the top. That should be how it is forever. So should all these other teams. Otherwise, you're just favoring the bigger leagues, and it gets harder and harder for smaller leagues. This gives Russia a fighting chance, and there goes Jake. Firefox finally responded to the quit. Byron, what do you think of this Champions League seeding change?
Yeah, and I think for a big organization like UEFA, which covers all of Europe, it's unfair for them to favor certain leagues. If you have more teams coming from Spain or France than in Russia, which, I mean, the teams are obviously better, I think, at least in Spain and Germany and all those other countries than Russia. However, that's basically saying, okay, we value that league more. I think it's good for the UEFA to be making these moves. It's a good PR move to have it from every single country.
Yeah, here's the interesting thing. These were the 7 teams that would have been in there this year. Atletico Madrid, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Juventus, Benfica, Paris Saint-Germain, CSKA Moscow, and of course Real Madrid would have been the 7 title holders, and the champion from last year, Real Madrid. Those have been the 8 teams. However, had this been in place this year, rather than it being, that's what it would have been. Instead, we had Real, Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid representing Spain, Chelsea and Arsenal representing England, Porto and Benfica representing Portugal, and Bayern Munich representing Germany. No French teams. No Russian teams. No Italian teams. That shows you how skewed it is. The fact that Paris Saint-Germain, one of the teams that made it to the quarterfinals last year, isn't ranked in the top 8. The Juventus, a team that had gone undefeated a couple of years ago, weren't in the top seeds. That's ridiculous. I think this is a great move. I think it's going to really impact how the Champions League plays out. I mean, maybe the top 4 won't change, but it gives the other nations a fighting chance. It puts them in a group. It rewards them for winning the league. When you win a league and you're put in with a really, really, really good team, it's a little bit of a betrayal. It makes winning the league not as important. When you see Porto and Benfica, if you come in second now, it's perfectly fine because you still might end up being the best team in your group. No, the teams that win the league should be rewarded. I like this change. Well, Jake's still not back. Maybe he'll return soon. We're running short on time, though, so we're going to cut out what would have been a little bit of Premier League talk and go into our new segment, which is the EuroLeague or Europe Power Rankings, kind of like club coefficients, except they're not based off of computers. And, Byron, are you ready for your top 5, or you want me to go first?
I think you should go first, because I am debating this.
Okay. Yes, time is essential. Always important to have the best picks possible. I am going to start at number 5. Drumroll, please. Bayern Munich at number 5. Not a great start to the year, but they're still one of the better teams. I just can't put them any higher than that right now. Number 4, surprisingly, Juventus. They've really impressed me, though they have lost a couple of surprising games. They have been amazing in Italy. They've just been absolutely dominant. They haven't been able to be stopped, and that's why they're at 4. Number 3 right now for me, Real Madrid. They're getting on the right course again. and they could see themselves to number 2 soon. But for right now, number 3. Number 2, also from Spain, Barcelona. They just have dominated in Spain. They've dominated in the Champions League. They've got to be there for me. And number 1, Chelsea. They've looked terrific. They had the tie with Schalke, which hurts them a little bit in my mind. Actually was tempted to put Barcelona at number 1. But I've got Chelsea here. They've got to back it up, though. Winning games early is great. But as we've seen, the Premier League can change in an instant. So can the Champions League. Mourinho's got to back up his talk with trophies. Byron, you ready for your top 5?
I think I am.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to go here with Juventus at number 5. And they've impressed. I remember knowing Jake said at the beginning of the year that Juventus is getting old and Roma is going to beat them. But I think Juventus is still one of the top teams in the entire world. And although they're getting older, they still have a lot of talent. Paul Pogba, of course, one of those players who has completely shined for them. And I think they're well-rounded all overall. So they're at number 5 for me. Number 4, I'm going to go with Chelsea. And Chelsea's number 1 right now. They've won basically all of their games. But I don't think they're as good as Barcelona. And I'm putting them behind Barcelona for one reason, which is that although Barcelona's older, Barcelona, you have Messi, Suarez, and Neymar. And you have more talent on the offensive side of the attack, even though Chelsea's Hazard, Diego Costa. You also have a good defense to back it up. I'm putting them in, or Chelsea in at number 4. Barcelona, as I said, in at number 3. They are dominating the La Liga right now and look to be continued to thrive there. I think this is number 2 now. I'm going to go with Bayern Munich. Like you said, they had a rough start to the season, but all around, possibly the best club in the world, behind my number 1, which is going to be Real Madrid. And they're coming back. And I still think that all around, Ronaldo, James, Bale, Benzema, you name it, this team is all around very, very impressive. You lose a guy like Di Maria and you still start to do well. That's when you know that you have a very, very deep team. So Real Madrid at number 1 and Bayern Munich behind them. I think they're still the 2 top clubs in the world at this point.
I appreciate the faith. It makes me feel better about my teams. Well, we have Jake on the phone. We don't know if he's going to be back, and we don't know if he's actually on the phone right now. But if you are, Jake, your top 5 in Europe. I don't think Jake's on. I don't know if he's on. We're struggling right now with Jake. The technical difficulties are real. We're going to try calling him right now. In the meantime, let's talk about the Premier League really quickly. Byron, of course, Chelsea's been, without a doubt, the best team thus far. Are there any teams that have really surprised you? Wait, no, we have Jake. Wait one sec. Jake, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Where y'all been?
Where are we? We are on Hangout right now. We're doing a show.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to disconnect.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to fix that. Please, stand by.
Can we please stand by? Jake, could you make your top 5 for Europe over the phone?
My top 5 over the phone?
Yeah, your top 5 in Europe.
Okay. Top 5 for what?
In Europe. Top 5 teams in Europe.
The top 5 teams in Europe. Are we doing countries or club?
Club.
Okay. I feel like there's some sort of safari commercial, but it's 5 off. It's just completely okay. Club. Okay. And are we ranking them?
Ranking, yes.
We are ranking them. Okay. Number 1. We'll get to that to Bayern Munich. Number 2. We'll go Barcelona. 3, we'll go Real Madrid. 4, actually no, swap Barcelona out. Check Real Madrid. 3, Chelsea. 4, Barcelona. And 5 is...
Do you need a suggestion?
That's a good question here.
Do you want a suggestion? Juventus, maybe?
Let's go with, Marseille has been playing very well. We'll give it to
Marseille, the surprise pick. That's a surprise pick. Jake, we look forward to your return to Google Hangout.
I'm trying it there.
He's almost there. And we've hung up on him. Sorry, Jake. But it's a little bit irritating when there's a lot of stuff. Byron got something to say, of course. No? No? Not something to say? Has a finger up, but doesn't have something to say. I think he was eating at that point. Chewing and pointing his finger upward. Okay. Well, we are on to own goal. Whether or not we will have Jake back remains to be seen. But we are going to start out with Radamel Falcao and his trained parrot. Radamel Falcao, a man of many talents, he has a parrot, and his parrot actually celebrates when Falcao scores. Here's a little YouTube clip from it.
Hola!
Hola, Coco! Gol de Falcao!
Golazo! 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 Gol!
The little high-pitched one was him. So he actually repeats, and he actually can say "Gol de Falcao" when he scores. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I would love to have a parrot like that. Next up, Jurgen Klopp. Not one of the guys to make it in the news very often about some weird stuff. But yeah, Borussia Dortmund boss Jurgen Klopp recounts the storyline of a porno that he watched when he was 18. Not often do you hear that. Klopp, of course, talked about it quite a bit. And sometimes you question why coaches speak. Sometimes it's better just not to talk. And last up, when Luis Suarez is in Saudi Arabia and with a taxi driver taking a selfie, it doesn't seem very comfortable. I mean, I wouldn't either. But this picture is just kind of in like a really awkward position, sort of gazing out the window, just trying to avoid the taxi driver. To be honest, if there's a taxi driver taking a selfie, I'm going to be worried. Please put your hands back on the wheel. We are driving. I don't want to die. I would be uncomfortable too, but just doesn't look like he's enjoying the selfie. But for the cab driver, that'd be pretty cool to have Luis Suarez in my cab. I would probably, even though he bit somebody, or bit two people, I would ask for his signature. I probably wouldn't take a selfie, to be honest. Jake, he may have bit somebody, but it's worth something.
No. I'm frowning at your lack of creativity. If it was me, I would ask for a selfie of him biting my ear.
But that's like Evander Holyfield. What about biting at your shoulder? That's better.
I was gonna say he could bite wherever, but he can't.
Also, I feel like he'd get really angry about that. Byron, that looks really yummy, and now I'm getting hungry.
Are you talking about... what? Oh.
What, Jake? Jake is laughing now.
Professionalism. We'll walk out of the...
I would like to say something interesting. None of us picked the same number one. I said Chelsea. Jake said Bayern Munich. And Byron said Real Madrid. Everybody except for me had Real Madrid ranked 1 or 2. I, the Real Madrid fan, had Real Madrid ranked lowest. Guess that's how it works. Well, that brings us to the end of the show and right in time for the Blackhawks game, which will be starting shortly, and Thursday night football, which is Texans Cowboys.
Colts.
Texans Colts. Thank you. Sorry.
Texans beat the Cowboys last week. Texans are winning this game, by the way.
You're right. The Texans are winning this game.
That's my pick.
That's your pick, Jake. Thank you for the pick.
That's my quick pick.
That's your quick pick.
I need to catch up, and I think that the Houston Texans are going to help me do that.
Okay, Jake. You know this will award you absolutely no points. In fact, picking a football pick and quick picks actually gives you negative points.
Really? Because this is football. Don't call it soccer.
I'm talking about. I'm not. I didn't. I just said taking.
We are making football picks.
Jake, what do you say? Oh, I meant football. Jake. I didn't even say soccer in that sentence.